4 o'clock. It was to the point where you needed to get home before it got dark. And so we were up, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 feet, something like that. And lo and behold, there was a German airfield not too far from us. We had passed over. And the Germans had made a mistake of scrambling, and they were coming up to engage us. And so this German aircraft was coming up from underneath me and to my left and ahead of me. Well, he was in a perfect position for me to move right over, to hit left rudder, move right over behind him, and and with the P-47, you have 850 caliber guns, and they do a lot of damage. And I let him have all 8 of them all at once. And he rolled over and went in. And all of us was kind of a mixture, and by that time I was going maybe 1,000 feet at most. And I was kind of wandering around, and I didn't see anybody. Everybody had scattered. And coming right at me was a second German aircraft. We were headed nose on nose. And I looked at him and I said, somebody's got to do something. But anyway, he broke to his right, my left. As he did, apparently the aircraft snapped and he went right in the ground. And he just splattered all over. Well, again, this is over, and so that's the second one. So I look around and I couldn't see anybody, and I looked to my right, which was to the east, and I saw a guy way out there. So being a young, dumb, want-to-get-him type pilot, I started after him, and he just kept going. And I don't know why I did this, but I took the airplane and I would pull the nose up and I'd squirt all 8 of those 50 calibers and didn't see it. Well, with the ammunition, every 5th bullet was an incendiary bullet, API, armor piercing incendiary. And whenever that bullet hit something, you could see a little flash. So you knew, you really didn't have a sight. You just fired until you saw the flash hit the target. And I put a squirt out, didn't see anything, and I raised a little more again. And now, you could call me a liar, and I'd have to believe you. But I swear, I finally saw a little blip on the plane. Well, with that, I say that because what he did subsequently to that is what made me think this. And it was a foolish thing on his part because he was so far ahead of me, I would have never caught him. He broke 90 degrees at least to his left. Well, that was his doomsday right there, because I just cut him right off. But the problem was, I was going so fast that when I cut him off, he headed out this way, and I came around behind him, and I could see that I had overshot him, and I cut my throttle. And this is a true story. We were sitting there, he was off my left wing, flying close formation off me. He had jettisoned his canopy, and I waved at him and I said, "Your turn." Not really, but that was a crazy experience. Anyway, he had jettisoned his canopy, and he rolled over and dug in. Now, being a thoughtful young man, on the P-47, you could put a switch, and you used only the camera. Normally, when it was together, when you fired your guns, there was a 16mm camera in the wing that took a picture of all of what you were hitting, so that, like you had a case that they couldn't confirm his first kill. Well, in this case, you take a picture trying to confirm all this, and then you hope that somebody else sees it. Anyway, being thoughtful and planning ahead, I turned the guns off and just the camera. And after each of these events, I would fly along and take a picture of it. They weren't going to get the better of me. I could take the pictures back and show them I did it. Anyway, but that was a rather interesting comment. But